Yes, people, another day, another blessing. It is Tuesday, the 15th of July, and, and it's coming up to about 12:30 in the afternoon. I have not long got back in from doing a morning shift in the car. I was up at about, I didn't sleep too well last night. Um, I tried to go to bed early, so I was in bed by about 10, but I just couldn't sleep. Found myself thinking about my dad last night. Uh, Crept into my thoughts, and um, I went through like some of the text messages that we exchanged a couple months before he died. And I don't know, for some reason last night I was just feeling really nostalgic about that, and yeah, that kept me up for a little while. So I read some of his poetry because he was a poet and he wrote a couple of books, and I read some of his poetry. And the book I was reading, it was published in 1991. So my dad would have been my age when he wrote that book. Would have been 39 years old. And I think that's the interesting thing about art, is that 39 years later, I'm here, his son, reading words that he wrote 39 years prior. And art lasts, like there's songs that people sing these days and things that people read that have been written hundreds of years ago. And when you create something in the moment, you never really know how long it's going to survive for and how many people are going to see it. uh, but that's the beauty of creating art, is that you just, like Van Gogh, he didn't know that his paintings would be lauded so much after his death, but they are. Anyway, like I said, I couldn't really get to sleep last night, but I finally did get to sleep, and then I woke up at like 4 o'clock with like a messed up stomach, man. It was not good. Uh, it was not a good look, and I was thinking maybe I might not be able to go out in the car, but I managed to drink some water, feel a bit better, and then I just went out for a couple of hours and did a few trips. Man, I met a couple of people. What I find interesting about driving, and I don't talk too much when I got passengers in the car, unless it's clear that a conversation happens organically. I don't force conversation. I'm happy to drive in silence and just listen to music. But I had a couple of really cool conversations today. I think the one that really stuck with me was an older lady who was traveling up to Scotland, and she used to work for the NHS, and we spoke about a lot of things life related, and we actually had quite a few similarities, like even down to how we like drinking our coffee. I'm a black Americano type of guy because I like to taste the actual coffee. And she was telling me about her kids and her grandkids, and the fact that she's quite a cynical person. And I was like, so am I. Like, I'm working on it, but I'm actually quite cynical. And we had a really nice chat. And as we were coming to the end of the journey, I asked her about her partner, her husband, and because we hadn't really mentioned him throughout all of the conversation, and she told me that, yeah, he passed away last year, and that she was actually going up to Scotland just to be on her own, because the Friday coming will be a year since he died, and she just wanted to spend some time on her own in Scotland. And I said to her, because grief is such an individual thing, you have to mourn the way you want to mourn. Like, when someone dies, they mean a lot of different things to different people. But they mean something specific to you. You know, it doesn't matter how many people know the person that's passed away. They don't know that person the way you know them. The connection they have with that person isn't the same as the connection you have. Everyone's got their individual connection. So when it comes to mourning, you have to mourn how you feel most comfortable mourning. And I just said to her, like, don't feel bad about however you want to process it. Just, process it in the way that you want to. And for her, um, that was going to Scotland. So yeah, that's where that's where she's gone for a couple of days. And yeah, that really stuck with me, man. And then funnily enough, the next person I picked up was had just come over to the UK from Australia for 2 years. And it's just like how lives are so, I get to see a snapshot of people's lives. On one hand, you got a woman who's coming to her latter years and going to mourn the death of her husband, and then on the other hand, you got someone who's about to embark on a adventure of being here in the UK for 2 years. And it's just kind of that reminder that we're all going through life and we're walking our own individual paths, and we're all dealing with the things that come with that. So yeah, just those things really resonated with me today. Um, but I got a couple of hours before I travel up to Woking because I am emceeing a gig tonight up there or down there. I think it's down there from where I am or across. I'm not sure. So the plan is to head to the gym, do an hour of cardio, and then come back, rest for a bit, and then journey to Woking. So that's the plan for the day. Um, I can honestly say that today I have kind of been in my head a little bit, and it's like contemplating like the future and contemplating finances and earning potential and all of that stuff. But I'm not going to dwell on that too much. Like I say, I can't, I have to remember, I have to take things one day at a time and one moment at a time and not get too caught up in um, the pressures or the worries of the future. I really, really have to just keep working on that. So, with that being said, let me get myself dressed and go and do a session and then crack on with the day.